welcome to the Hannah's Knit Cottage podcast. I'm Hannah.
I'm Michelle.
And we are here to talk about all of our making. And I say making because it's not all knitting today.
No, it's not.
Mine isn't even all knitting this time.
Mine is, I have nothing finished except for what's not here.
And we'll show pictures.
Yes.
So, good morning. Today is Saturday, March 29th, 2025.
It's kind of a ugly day outside. I can't tell if it's supposed to rain or...
My glasses are crooked. Y'all aren't going to see me fight about my glasses too much longer. I'm going to the eye doctor in like 2 or 3 weeks. Thank goodness.
And get new glasses.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm desperately ready. This pair was just a bad pair from the get-go. They just didn't do the coating right or something, and so the coating on the the anti-scratch immediately messed up, and then they bend because I fall asleep wearing them because I'm bad about that.
Yeah.
So
well, if it was the anti-scratch thing, I'd have been right back in the door.
I didn't have time because I'm at work. By the time I get home, business hours are over.
Oh dear.
So anyway, it's a bleak day. It's supposed to be pretty nasty weather later on today. Lots of rain.
Good day to knit.
Yes, the perfect day to knit.
Put on the radio or a good movie.
Yes. So if first, thank you for everybody who participated in our comments for the giveaway.
Oh, good.
We will insert a segment of us doing the giveaway at some point in the video. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's say we're going to insert the segment here. Giveaway now. All right, we've drawn our giveaway winner, and our winner is...
Bags by Barbie. Yay! Congratulations. Oh, this is great.
This was the sweetest comment.
Oh,
Aww.
I know. I was like, oh.
All right, you have to read the comment first.
Okay. She says, congratulations on your milestone. I really enjoyed this episode, and I feel each one just gets better, so hopefully you'll continue to get more and more subscribers. I love seeing everything y'all are working on, and especially excited to see Michelle's Stitch Surfer sock because I've had my eye on that pattern for a while now. I can't wait to see the finished product. Keep up the good work. Aww.
Thank you, and congratulations.
You. Yes.
You may... Do you want them to email Woolmarket Fibers?
Yeah, woolmarketfibers@gmail.com.
So, Barbie, if you will email Woolmarket Fibers,
ta-da, you get a choice.
Yes.
Anything Woolmarket Fibers, I have sock weight, DK, worsted. If you spin, I have roving.
So you get one skein of your choice and your colorway out of what they have in stock.
And if you want to call, and I can text from the shop phone photos so that you can get a better feel of what you want, because unfortunately not everything is on the website just yet. So go check it out and give me a call, and we will get you hooked up and shipped out ASAP. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Okay, so first, thank you for being here. Thank you if you're subscribed and you're returning, or if you're new here, thanks for being here. I always put down in the description box below all of the projects that we're working on, and I attach my Ravelry pages. You don't use Ravelry as much, do you?
Not as much, no.
But I do attach all the pattern links for everything Michelle's doing as well, all the yarn we're using. If the yarn specifically isn't available, I'll at least link the shop. Same with bags, anything we talk about, I try to link. So if you are interested, you could go purchase. With that, do you want to start? Well, I have one FO.
Okay, you do yours.
FO being finished object.
Woohoo.
These are a bingo board square. I think this is square number 6.
I don't remember. But I remember you working on them the last time we were here, so yes. I figured they'd be done. Well, we would have seen this sooner, but she was sick again.
I'm doing much better. It's just that season, and unfortunately with my job,
kids,
I see everybody in the entire school. So if there's any illness in the school, I'm gonna meet it in the week. So, but
thank you, children.
Doing better. Got a good multivitamin in my system now. Working on some other stuff behind the scenes to get my immune system stronger.
Please.
But these are the Thursday Night Socks by Sock Witchery in the yarn Winter Wonderland Woolmarket Fibers yarn. This is alpaca socks. I don't know if you can see. There's a nice little
these
halo.
Are squishy. Very nice.
They're squishy and fuzzy and warm. And these on the bingo board are going to be Rhonda socks. So there's a lady at my church Sister Rhonda, she struggles with her extremities staying pretty cold, poor circulation. So she like sometimes has to wear gloves and stuff inside because she's just that cold. So I figured the alpaca would be a good fit because alpaca will retain that heat really well for her. And the stretch on the rib, just because I've never made socks for her, making sure that they will fit and be nice. So
and cuddly warm. They're so soft. I love alpaca.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of sad to see these go. Because I was like, oh, these feel so nice. There. Well, I have and I have the Pop Rocks colorway, which is like pinks and purples and stuff. So I'll give these away. It'll be okay. Anyway, so that's my one finished object. Do you want to talk about where your objects are?
My finished objects are in Texas. I did a pile of bags. I had to stop all knitting completely and jump into my sewing. So most of my sewing was done here at work. So if anybody had come into the store and they saw me at my Francis Featherweight, I was busy sewing my poor little fingers off. I've done the Japanese rice bags. I've done more zippered pouches, the wristlets, and they're all in Canton, Texas right now. So good luck. Hope everybody gets a bag. Hope you come out and see us while you're there. I will give Hannah the photos so she can show everybody what all I've done so far. On the other hand, where the knitting is concerned, what I've not finished, but I kind of started. Remember when it was snowing? Well, Mom was telling me how, the back of her neck was cold. And I fell upon a pattern called the Wickford wrap by Carol Feller. I happen to have the yarn for it, and it's Mom approved, though it's not sparkly, because sparkly doesn't come in worsted weight. Sorry, Mom, but...
Oh, you could do, well, I don't know. They do that little thread you can hold with yarn. But I don't always like that because it's not always the right texture.
Yeah, exactly. So I started it, and I am to the wings, so to speak. And I'm doing them Michelle's way.
Ooh, I like this color. 2
at a time.
Which yarn is this?
This is actually an old stash yarn I've had for quite some time. It is by Knit Picks.
Okay. Like they're Knit Picks worsted.
Yeah.
This color, y'all.
It is a beautiful chocolate brown.
Look at this. And this cabling, you see this? Michelle is like the queen of cables. Oh, and look down here. Just, gorgeous.
I'm the queen of 2 at a time, too.
Yes, she is.
So these are going by really quickly.
Did you see the pattern?
Yeah, it's the Wickford wrap. You can get it as a standalone pattern, or if you had the 2017 issue of Knitters, Interweave Knits, it is the Wickford wrap by Carol Feller. I love her. My very first sweater was a Carol Feller.
Aww. Now I'm curious, so if you look, she has stitches on hold here.
Yes.
Can you tell us what that's for?
That is for later when you go to pick up for all the edging.
Ooh, okay. That's smart. And then she leaves you a clean edge to pick up from, so it's really...
Exactly, yeah. Yep.
You go,
This'll be right. Now hers is a seed stitch edging, but I have seen some people in their projects on Ravelry, they've done an I-cord, like an applied I-cord bind off. They've done that as well, which is, which I probably might do. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens when I get there. But I love the cabling so far. It's really pretty. It's a diamond shape, double diamonds actually. So I'm excited, and it really is kind of soft. It's not as scratchy as I thought it would be.
No, and my experience with, I'm guessing this is probably the wool at Andy's or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. The first time, or it was Palette. Well, they're 100% wools.
Palette is 100% Peruvian, yes.
Yeah, I was really surprised with when I worked with it. It felt scratchy, and the second it kind of got knitted into it, started softening up, and then when I washed it, I was really surprised with how soft it turned out to be.
Now, you remember the Shetland cap that I showed the last time? Okay, a lot of that was used a lot of that was done with pellet.
Yeah.
So, and you can tell how soft it is.
And that's, I mean, for people who are on a stricter yarn budget, I think they're doing a sale too at Knit Picks right now. That's a really good, if you're just getting started, that's a really good option.
If you're going to use Peruvian wool, yeah, for all the colors, for color work.
Yeah.
But
you may be
that's
seeing
this one.
All right.
What's
Can
yours?
you guess what my next whip, what my whip is going to be?
It's going to be Caitlin Hunter's Halibut.
Y'all, okay, I need to have a disclaimer. So I have to have this done by the 31st. I think we can all come to the same conclusion when we see this.
It's done. What? It's not done? Well, okay, you were sick. I get it.
No, it was not even that. So recently, my husband and I crossed like being married for 6 months. So we had the chance to go out for a date last night, and my sweater, y'all.
Uh-oh. Did it meet some kind of catastrophe?
No.
Well, that's
well, we
good.
got to talk about the not catastrophe, actually.
Oh,
but
well, yeah.
look, so we have one sleeve, and then this is sleeve number 2. It's literally
We're almost there.
that much. That much.
So you weren't allowed to knit on your date?
No, I
Chose not to?
chose to be present in the moment and not
Yay.
be. So
good for you. All
So
right.
we both, because he was going to play some video games and I was going to knit, and I was like, we never get the time to just spend together. It'll be done for the 31st.
Can we
It's
have
going to be
like
done.
did you have a movie date?
No, we actually went out to a nice seafood restaurant,
Oh, good.
and he gets our schedules are pretty opposite. So I go to work really early and get home early. He goes to work later and gets home late.
Oh,
so by the time he got home, we went to dinner, come back, and we're all like,
I'm
ready for
tired.
bed. So yeah. So, but we had a very nice dinner. It was funny because the place we went to was the same restaurant we went to after we got engaged. And they had like he gotten all of our families together. And so the table they seated us at was literally just a couple feet away from where that table had been. And I was just like, look, and so we walked.
There's our table.
And they have this little ramp in the restaurant that you walk down to go into like the back party area.
Yeah.
So walking down it last night, I could like feel in my head, like I remembered all like everybody like, oh, they're gay, you know, remembered all that. So it was really sweet. So I say I'm apologizing, but I'm not apologizing for being present, and
no,
and it will be done.
Finally,
I really,
for once, you weren't knitting your brains out. Yay.
Yes.
But it really is pretty.
Yes. This
Despite the
is
knot issue
the
in the
Caitlin
yarn,
Hunter Halibut.
it's gorgeous.
I can put it on too because the bottom's bound. I got a book called Cast On, Bind Off last weekend.
I've had that book for a long time.
Love it. And so I was like, you know, I don't want to do a tubular bind off and I don't want to do a sewn bind off. Show me what I should do. So I did, it's called the elastic bind off. It flares just a little bit, but I liked I don't know if you can tell, the edging it makes, how it looks just like a clean stitch all the way down.
Is that the Jenny Super Stretchy?
This is called the elastic bind off in the book.
Huh.
Yeah, but I really like
Is
the
it
way it
done
looks. It flares just a little bit, but not near as much as Jenny's.
Oh, really?
That's why I never do Jenny's stretchy bind off.
I don't have that problem.
Oh, well, mine always just like flares like really bad. This one is a minimal flare, and because it's already stretching for my hips, you really can't tell when I should put it on. Okay, let me take my rings off so we don't accidentally snag.
Maybe with a needle smaller.
Yeah, and I was thinking
On a swatch, just to see.
Yeah, I just didn't know what we were dealing with here. Making sure I have it correct.
We're gonna have to put a little tag in there. This is the back end.
Yes, I need to get tags. I really need tags. And I would have just come in wearing this, honestly. But if y'all don't know, it's like already 80 degrees out here, so we're not wearing a full wool sweater.
That's the wet humidity, folks.
Okay, here we go.
That's gorgeous. Look at that.
Oh.
It is so pretty.
The sleeves are a little long, but I kind of like that it has that extra.
I like
I
the
was
long
worried
sleeves.
when
think it
I
looks great.
first tried this sweater on. Oh, my hair's going crazy.
It's okay.
And you can see how wide the neck looks, but really when I put it on without a shirt on, and I didn't feel like I needed to wear anything under it. But when this wasn't bound off yet, when I was raising my arms, this whole section was like,
whoops.
And I was worried about it.
So go like this. I
Well,
mean, because that's
but
what
it's
I
really
worry
not
about
bad
with
if you
round
look.
yoke. Okay.
But with a round yoke, yeah, I think you're definitely going to notice more, like especially because the yoke depth is so deep. And this actually, I modified the pattern And I think my row gauge is a little off. My stitch gauge is fine, but my row gauge, you can see how little I have left on this. It's right there. It'll be done probably today.
Stop. Okay.
But I love it. I am loving it more now seeing it in camera, but you can see it's not a real tight hem.
No.
But I kind of like that. Like she knits swanchos. Like that's what
I like the loose look. I always have. I like my sweaters bigger than me because I want to move around in them and I wear clothes under them. So.
Right. And me too. I feel like I don't want a whole closet full of this cut, but I think having this, I will wear it.
Right.
I'll probably put like a tank top under it. I don't think I do a full shirt like this, but a tank top. So then when I do raise my arms, I feel comfortable doing that without being exposed.
Yes.
But I love the look. So the yoke depth, I modified, you're supposed to have a bunch more knit rows right here. So I did the short rows in the back and you can see how much lower the halibut sits. But I eliminated a bunch of rows in the front and jumped straight into the color work, and made sure my stitch count was correct before did that. And then I was supposed to knit like 7 rounds at the bottom and I didn't. I went straight from the color work chart to the sleeve split, which means that one of these stitches here got a little gapey, so I'm gonna have to go in and duplicate stitch that.
No biggie.
But
it's under your arm, so
right, but just go in and reinforce it. But what was I gonna say? Because my stitch gauge was fine, my row gauge was off. So with all the adjustments, I should have had like a 9-inch yoke. I ended up at like 10, I think.
Well, yeah, because you eliminated here and here, so yeah, that's
right.
where
I should have been at 9. Well, the total pattern was supposed to be like 11 and a half, and I was like, I'm not going to be happy with an 11. I've
like
seen that.
way down too far.
It would have been over here.
Yeah,
like that would have been too much for me. And part of that is I'm a shorter person, but I have a larger bust, so it would have, I think, overwhelmed me. So if I was taller, that longer yoke depth would have been okay. Yeah, but anyway, so I modified it. It's still a little deeper than I thought I wanted originally, but I'm not mad at this.
Right.
And there's no way.
I like the length of the sleeves.
Yeah, and I like having a little extra.
And I like that you made this the body length longer instead of up to here like you generally do. I like it longer.
Well, and her pattern actually called for it to be like here.
No, I don't like that.
And that would have been
too cropped.
Well, right, and that's just on my body too, because I have a long torso, but I have short legs. So again, cutting off my torso would have made me look a lot.
I know.
Shorter.
I always make mine longer anyway. I like it this long for me.
Yeah, for me when I'm working and moving, I think this is going to be a fun sweater to wear. I'm really excited to have it. This is Juniper Moon Patagonia.
Yes.
I'll put the colorways linked in the description.
That's the Patagonia by
Juniper Moon Farm.
Yes. It's an organic wool. It's a mulberry, I think, plus the cream that she picked out to go with it.
Yes. I love it. The one complaint I will say, and I don't know that this is a reflection of all of Juniper Moon, but I think it's a reflection of the yarn that I received. This is my first time using Juniper Moon.
It's my first time getting it, so.
Yeah, and I was frustrated. I've had at least 10 knots in this sweater.
I think it's the batch.
Yeah, and I'm going to probably reach out and tell them, like, hey, you need to know that I had. Because at first I found a knot. I'm like, okay, finding a knot every now and then
is no big deal because that's just part of their adding the yardage that is required for whatever it is they're putting out. Finding more than 3 is a bit much, folks. So
within three skeins, I haven't tapped into my 4th, but within 3 skeins, I've had at least 10 knots.
Yeah, that's too
easily.
Much.
So and that really, I mean, truthfully, could be the machines we're having. You know, the machines that are applying everything maybe had a problem. It was breaking.
They should have pulled that one off and done something else because that's unacceptable.
Right, like that would be a yarn that you would say should be removed.
That should have been
a discard.
So I will get a hold of the company and put in a formal, hey.
And I've never seen anybody complain about their yarn, so I'm not saying this to say like don't go buy them.
No, because
I think this legitimately probably is just there was an issue and maybe it fell through the cracks somewhere.
That could have been because I'm using it and. So far, I'm not having that problem. So, sorry.
Come join the podcast.
So,
but I say that because
it could just be you. I don't know.
Right,
mean,
it could
I
just be
know
the
it's
yarn
just-
that I got, and that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are human, so are we.
Yeah.
It happens, but the reason I bring that up is because Michelle educated me on something I didn't know today that I probably have to go back and
keep
fix.
knots. No knotting. I don't care what you say. They're manufactured knots are not meant to stay. So when you come upon a knot, you're supposed to cut it and rejoin in, not a magic knot, because I've heard those come out as well. For me, what I've done is when you're attaching a new yarn, you can either splice it depending on this. I'm sure you could, because it's 100% wool. So you could splice it. I wouldn't rush and join it because it's too thin. For me, I've taken the tail with the new yarn for about 2 to 3 stitches and knitting those two together. When you come upon it again, just knit the 2 strands that you see as if it was one. You're not going to find the bulk on the front end. I've been doing this for 25 years. That's how I join my yarns. You don't see it on the front end. If you see the bulk, it'll be on the back end, not the front end. But to generally just tie a knot from the manufacturer and leave it in your work, it's going to come undone. Eventually, it will come undone. So
we're going to go
be
back
forewarned that if you decide this is what you want to do, you're going to have to fix it later.
So Michelle and I are going to meticulously go through my sweater and repair all the knots. Because did I leave the knots? Yes, I did.
Oh, dear.
Yes, I did.
Because, poor baby, nobody told you.
This is what happens when you learn how to knit from a DVD and YouTube. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Michelle can tell you I've turned out pretty fine.
Yes, she has.
Okay. But yeah, this is one of those moments where knitting is a mentorship and there's certain things that need to get passed down.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's what that PSA, not to shame yarn companies or anything, but to say, hey, it's okay if this happens to you, you can reach out to the manufacturer.
And if you want to keep your knots, that's you. That's your work. But I'm just saying, if it comes undone, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. I think I'm just going to leave this on for this podcast, and I'm just going to drink a ton of tea so I don't overheat.
Right. Well,
if I sit like this, everybody can, it's done.
Yay.
Really. It'll be done by the end of the day today, for being honest.
Whip number 2. Now,
I like this bag.
I've been in love. Oh yeah, because it's coffees all over the place.
And the brown.
Isn't this a cute little bag? This was done by Wool Market Fibers. This was one of the very first bags that I had made when I started bag making. I know.
And the color, the project is perfect for that bag.
It is. It's teddy bear brown. And
what is that
I'm sorry,
colorway?
I forgot the Adobe, I think is what it is.
This needs to come back for autumn. Oh my goodness. If that is, ooh.
What do you think of that so far?
I'm obsessed. That's what I think.
Doug made the suggestion when he was taking my samples. He's been taking my samples. So I don't really have many shawls left because he takes them to the yarn festivals. And he was going to take a shawl. It's by Michelle Meadows, the design. It's called Yours Truly Summer. We did this a long time ago as a huge knit along. And we can always do it again because I'm up for anything. Well, I told him he can't take that because that wasn't done with his yarn. And he said, well, can you make me one? Who can say no to that? So, guess what? Here we are.
I love
making another one in these colors. And I really fell in love with these colors. I don't have the third color. Can I go grab a third color?
Yes, go grab the third color.
So the third contrasting color that goes with it.
Does this not scream leaves are changing? It's time for cozy fall. It's time to finally let Hannah wear her halibut because it's not 80 degrees outside.
And I misnamed this colorway. It is actually called Autumn. It really is.
Oh, but
Yeah, Autumn.
I might be in trouble. That might be coming home
Isn't
with
that
me.
gorgeous?
Those two together are just.
And then the third.
Okay, would that not be the cutest pair of socks pair of socks, color work cuff at the top.
Right.
Speaking of color work cuff, that's a minute.
So I've already bagged up the 3 colors for the kit for this shawl, and we can always make some more, and at least till the 3 colors are gone off the wall.
But if there's a huge response, I'm sure they will dye more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Please, we need a.
Hint, hint,
It's
Mr.
fall, y'all. Yes.
Yes, it is. It's fall, y'all. Here we go.
That's it right there.
Yep, there it is. All right.
Now I gotta figure out a 3-skein sweater for the It's Fall, Y'all sweater make long.
Oh dear.
We'll figure it out. We got time. We got time.
I have a couple of designers I can think about.
Isabel Kramer.
No, absolutely no. Well, no. I really want to try somebody like Rachel Ilsley.
Yes.
Or Eleanor Mortison. There's somebody new I fell upon, so when I get her name, I'll tell you.
This is showing so well on camera. This is my first time really, because our house is pretty small, so I don't have a full-length mirror at my house, so this is like the first time of me really seeing it like back at me,
I know, it looks so
on
pretty.
me, so I'm like, oh, I've dreamed of this sweater for like 2 years. I learned how to color work knit to make this sweater. Just like I learned how to knit to make socks, and now I've learned how to color work knit to make this sweater. Will I have the mittens at some point? Yes.
Yes.
Mittens, the hat, I'll just be a full halibut. And she's doing a salmon one, a king salmon one. They're in testing right now. And it's like
really?
this same thing, but it's salmon. I think it might be a worsted weight. And I know that because I applied for the test knit.
Does it look like him?
No, it looks like a salmon. Like it looks like it's a king salmon.
So it's longer?
I think it's like the chart actually looks skinnier.
Oh.
The way it looks is skinnier, and it lays, I think there's a little more gap between each repeat. It looks really cool. I was thinking about, because I applied for the test knit, and it was right when I was starting this, and I was like, am I really about to put this on hold to go knit the salmon? I was like, yes, I am. But I was thinking about doing a coral, peach coral sweater with olive green salmon.
Oh, olive green salmon. I'd have to see what the salmon actually look like if they're. For some reason, I get the coral salmon in my brain. I guess maybe because that's what it looks like when. And
I was thinking about
either
or, like, but those 2 colors, because that's kind of the outside and like kind of just that color palette.
So you could use. What about seaweed for the green?
Yeah, just like a nice like neutral green, like not a bright green.
This company has that color.
We'll see. I'm on a yarn buying freeze.
I know you're a little gun shy about.
And I'll say I found some like farm matter, I guess, in my yarn, like straw.
Well, yeah, because
it's farmy yarn, which was fine, but when you add the knots with that, I was just like,
I think I'd rather stick with the sticks and twigs, because
and that's fine with me.
But I'm used to that because that's what you get with Noro. So
yeah, and that makes sense. That made a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to see my other whips?
Okay.
Okay. She has no idea what these other 2 are.
Oh no, I don't.
Do you want the knitting one or the non-knitting one?
I'll close my eyes and.
Okay, close your eyes. All right, open them.
Oh, how cute! Oh my God, it's Star Wars.
So,
did you do it?
I started it.
Oh, okay.
I did. There's a reason I didn't finish it. There's a legitimate, very good reason, and that's part of why the sweater's not done.
Do you need help?
No, actually, I need to talk to the company.
Uh-oh.
I'm emailing everybody. Apparently.
Oh my God.
This isn't a big deal. So, I started Yoda.
And you ran out of yarn. Oh no.
And my gauge, if you
Yoda.
look, so this is Yoda. There's his little smile.
Oh.
But if you look, my Yoda is actually the same size as the box. So it's like if I'm the same size as the box and I ran out of yarn, and I was like, I had started 1 ear. He has 1 ear, and I ran out.
So he's gonna be limbless. Poor baby.
I know. So I'm gonna reach out and get more green. There's his ear.
Well, let's hope they have it.
I would assume so.
Oh dear. Yoda's got to have his limbs.
So my goal, sorry, my voice is still recovering. We had a massive event on Thursday. I did a whole lot of talking.
Sorry.
Okay, you're good. So I'm gonna go back through, and if you look, this is on the bingo board. My brother and sister-in-law got this for me. My sister-in-law wanted to learn how to make these, and so we celebrated her birthday last weekend, and I got her a big giant crochet stitch dictionary, and it had a lot of the stuff explaining like the abbreviations and stuff for patterns and written patterns. And I told her, I was like, I'll help you learn how to read written patterns, but this also will help you when I'm not around too, because sometimes you're working on something and you like just want to work on it.
Right.
So I started Yoda. I'm gonna go back and do all of Leia and make sure I don't run out of yarn for Leia before I do Yoda.
I don't know about that, but let's hope so. But
and well,
poor
at least
baby. He has no arms.
I know. So, but this was honestly, 2 or 3 hours worth of work. It wasn't bad. So this will be a pretty easy bingo square. So for the month, because we're almost in April, for the month of April, I'm hoping to knock these 2 off the list, or at least get them close to done. And then whenever the company, I'm sure they'll send me more yarn.
I hope so, and I hope it's the right color and the right dye lot.
Well, he's just gonna live at my house. It'll be okay.
So his fingers are the wrong color, but oh, poor baby. He's cute though.
They're really cute. This is like a Hobby Lobby kit. So
Doug loves Star Wars.
This is actually my first semi-successful amigurumi. I was really I will say there are some typos in the pattern, but it's not where it's illegible to me as long as you have a little experience. But did I don't think I centered his smile.
Lack of proofreading.
Yeah, his smile is over here and his foot is over there.
Okay.
It's fine. He's turned to the side. It's fine. It's fine. But I have wanted to make amigurumi for so long and have struggled.
They're fun. They're fun to make.
I struggle with magic ink.
Well, yes.
Sorry for the crinkling.
And you also have to be careful because you're working in spirals. There's no join at the end of a round, single crochet and go around. I did spiral.
I did a slip.
Cleaner. Yeah.
I did a slip stitch at the end to kind of close the round and get me into the next round, and went back into that stitch for the first.
Okay, but if you do it as a spiral, it's cleaner. We'll do another one. We'll have a going in the circle class, mini class.
I was very proud of him. I've done a crochet sweater.
Well.
So I've done stuff in the round, but I struggle with crochet keeping count.
Right.
So doing that slip stitch at the end always ensured, okay, I know my slip stitch is here. I go back into where I slipped for number 1 and then go.
But if you want to avoid that definite, you can see that going up and it'll shift as you go. If you want to avoid that, spiral's the way to go.
Mine, you can't see mine.
Well, good.
So
good.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Do you have
What's the next one?
No, okay. This is my last one.
No, because I
have conquered 2 things in this time period. I got conquered magic ring and conquered colorwork socks.
Oh yay! Do they fit?
They fit.
I always worry about that with socks. I do
fit.
well with everything else but socks.
Now the gauge is a little loose up top, so and as it goes, it gets a little tighter, the top of it. But this is Moonglow Yarn Co. April Showers sock set. I've had this in my stash for years and I've tried to. This is the 3rd time I've tried to knit it. April Showers. So it's 100 gram skein and 50 gram minis. And this is the April Showers sock pattern by Twin Stitches Designs.
That's a pretty color. I like this.
And the blue, you can barely tell there's a blue down there at the end. And then I'm about to put in the heel, because my gauge is a lot looser on color work, it meant that it was taller. So I only did 50 rounds for the leg, and then I'm about to put the heel in, and then I'll go through and do the foot. It doesn't have any color work, it just has stripes at the bottom. When I say color work, I mean stranded color work. But here's what helped me decided to break out some, these are not 9-inch circulars, they're 10-inch circulars.
Oh, okay. Oh, so your tip is a little longer.
One side is longer than the other.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, I've heard about those, but they still hurt my thumbs.
I was able to make these work. So these are Addie Easy Knit Rockets. And I saw this on the Summerlee's podcast, or her episodes, and you can see, so this is the tip I knit from, and this is the tip that I have the stitches ready to go on. And that has helped me a lot, that I feel like I have control here, and this hand is kind of learning how to manage a smaller needle. This is not a way I want to knit around and around and around constantly, but to do color work, I can make it work for sure. And my hand did not have severe pain or anything like that.
Or your thumbs. Well, you got tiny thumbs.
Yeah. And these are US 2. So I normally knit my socks in a US 0. So I went all the way up to a 2. I'm thinking I can maybe go down to a 1.
That's huge for you because you don't knit your socks on 2s. Ever.
But I'm curious. I think I had a lot more success because the 2 was a thicker needle, and that helped me have something to grip.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about going back and getting a US 1 of this. But I have to block this sock first and see what we're dealing with here. But I know it goes over my heel because I've tried it on, and it goes over my heel easily.
That's the big part, is that you've got to get it over your heel and your instep for it.
And it takes a little work, but not like a yank and tug. It's just a kind of pull a little bit, which is normal. I mean, you don't want them super, super loose.
No.
So I'm excited that this means maybe I can start doing some colorwork socks.
I got to go check this because he keeps texting.
So I'm thinking I can do some colorwork socks now. I'm really excited. I've been drooling over Summerlee's Colorwork Cuff Club. So I'm thinking that this might be the way I can do the Colorwork Cuff Club. But I'm not letting myself purchase it until I've at least gotten a successful pair to prove that I can do it. I will say I knit the whole colorwork chart in 2 days. I think I'm becoming obsessed with colorwork. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, so it's fun. I definitely, if you haven't tried, this is what they are. Easy Knit Rockets.
And if anybody needs those, I should be able to get them.
Yay! That was going to be my next question.
And if you need 9-inch circulars, I got them on the wall.
Yes.
And if you look up, I have just got in 5-inch tips of the stainless steel chow goose and bamboos 4 to 8, and the swivel 360 cables to go with them. And there is one set of 4 tapes right over there. Oh. Just in case somebody wants to try them. Not naming names.
She knows it's me. She knows it's me.
I really am enjoying the swivels. I really like them.
We'll see.
And they work with the bamboos and the stainless steel tips, which was the whole point of me getting them, to try them out. So when people ask, I could say, yes.
So they work with the Forte, the bamboo, and the stick.
Yes.
So if you...
Yes.
Oh, I'm so in trouble. Grant, I'm so sorry.
My bad. Not really.
Hey, I have,
but if you're a chow goo fan,
and I definitely am.
I can.
This is I don't typically use a non-chow goo needle, so for me to go to Addie's for something was very
And that's all I had, because 100 years ago, when I was just barely into knitting, I was pushed into buying Addie's, and I found I'm not a fan of Addie needles. I was given, I shouldn't say I was given. I was sold sock rockets. They do not make me knit faster. I was sold turbos. I'm sorry, but they did not make me knit faster. I don't care what that company says. I was not knitting faster. I actually struggled with the join from the shaft to the needle tip on all of them. The only ones I actually really like that I have kept is my size 4 16-inch lace. And yes, if you don't use them after a while they do tarnish, though I've not had any funny smell. Somebody had, mentioned in one of my groups a long time ago that they smelled funny or that it rubbed off on my fingers. They did not do any of that. I have those 4, and I use them for my blanket on the couch.
Yeah.
So I keep that particular set in that bag with that
and I will
that's the only one I
say,
use.
maybe they've
Otherwise, I'm not a fan.
reformulated this, and maybe my gauge was loose enough, but I didn't have a problem with the joint on this
That's
one.
good, because
That wasn't a problem for me. My stitches really didn't get bunched up anywhere.
Right.
That worked really well for me. I'm trying to think. This would be a 4-inch tip, and that would be a 3-inch tip, or a 2 and a 3.
it's a 2 and a 3.5, I think. Let me look. Because this is about the same size as the shorties from the Chow Goose.
Yeah.
These are almost 4, and these are about a 2.
So 2 and a
2 and a
3.5.
half, yeah,
Can you
somewhere.
get Chow Goose tips in 2s and 3.5 length?
For the shorties.
So theoretically, if you had a
And the
Chow Goose set, you could
interchangeables, yes, I can get them.
you could make a 10-inch circular, which would be a good option too, because instead of buying a bunch of these, you would just use what you had already.
Yeah, you just switch out the the tips with the cables. Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry, Grant. I mean, that's
We'll
like
get you fixed up. Somebody.
yeah, that's a long term, like getting. I'm probably gonna have a wall in my house that's similar to Michelle's wall that she sells needles from, for me to just store needles.
Yeah.
Just to say, okay, when I'm ready to start a project, go grab it off my shelf. I have it.
But since we're talking about needle storage, I don't
Yes.
have a place to store my needles on a wall like I do the shop. It would be
Yes.
nice if I did, but I don't. I did this
Should I show mine too?
back in 2017. I came up with this idea. And I am sorry, but they do not make this any longer.
Aww.
I know. But I was able to order a bunch for some people when they saw mine. Mine is actually a double-sided worm bag from Bass Pro. And yes, you saw it. This is the extreme worm bag. It's two-sided. It's zippered on this side and zippered on this side. And it's portable.
It's busting at the seams.
Don't know anybody. And yes, it is busting at the seams. This starts
Whoa.
000 and 0 in one.
Can you
'cause
lift
I don't
this up so they can see?
Yeah.
So this is a bag where you put the worms in.
Yeah, these were the envelopes that your lures would actually go in, your worm lures. But I use mine for knitting needles, and they start 000
Well, and
over
she has
here.
tips done in there too.
Yeah, so the plastic, these plastic zippered places are where my tips go, and they are all in sizes. So my fixed is on this side, and it's busting at the seams, as you can see, and it goes all the way, oh Lord, to size 11, because I don't use anything bigger, and maybe a 13. And then there's more. So I had extra space back here, and I put some accessories, scissors, extra cable needles, that kind of thing in here. Let's see if I can zip this back up. It's kind of hard. Sorry. On the other side.
I didn't know this was going to be the needle organization page.
Oh dear.
I don't
Yeah,
mind.
which is kind of impromptu here. This side has, again, with more needle tips in sizes. This side houses cables for the interchangeables, from 16 and 24 to the 32 to the 40, 47, 60. And then I do have a couple of spares, like my old signature needles. I have some that I had no place for, and a full set of cubics from,
Oh, I've heard about those.
this was the old Knitter's Pride cubics. And then I do have my tape measure. I also had a place over here, sorry. I also had a place over here where my my headlamp would go. One of those things that goes over guys' heads. Well, I wear it around my neck. So when we were driving in the dark, I would just put it on around my neck and keep knitting.
I have one that
So I
has
can
two little
knit in the
lights that
dark.
come right here.
Yeah, I've upgraded since then, so I have one of those as well that I use. So I keep that charged up. But this is my needle organization, and it's not. I still have either needles on projects or they're hanging out that I've clipped to a container that need to go in the bag. So this isn't full. This is nowhere near being as full as it should be.
She could open a store with her needle collection.
I'm a hoarder of needles.
But I mean, that's, yeah, because I mean, like I was thinking when you said about like the bamboo and stuff like that, because for me, I'm starting to find that, yeah, I'm enjoying bamboo on certain projects.
Yes.
I enjoy metal on certain projects. I'm interested to see about the Chagu Fortes. We'll see whenever I decide to dip my toes in, because it's going to happen at some point.
And I'm a needle hoarder, so I've used a lot of brands and a lot of metal and bamboo and wood. I've used Knitter's Pride, Knit Pro, Chagu. I've used Addy. I used Haya, the old discontinued Plymouth needle tips, and fixed I have. So I've been all over the place. So I know what I like. I know what I don't like.
Yeah.
And
that's where I'm kind of at is I have a Knit Picks interchangeable set, which I have used recently. I don't have it with me. It has its own case. It's in its own thing. But I find that I tend to want to just buy the fixed circular rather than use that set.
yeah, that's what I did. Now you see what happened. And I do have full sets of tips for the Haya and the Knit Picks. I've got several sets, 2 sets of the Caspian shorts, which are like that 3.5 inch. I've got them all. There's Pride, Plymouth. Your turn.
I've got, this is all of my non-sock needles. This is actually like a marker organizer.
Oh, I love that.
Like art supplies.
Yes.
Just front side.
And look, she's got llamas and yarn. I love those. That's cute.
So,
there you go.
So it's labeled here, and this is just my sloppy Sharpie writing. But it starts with a 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have one set of 2.5 needles, so I'll probably throw it over here. And this is where I have one set of double points. I never use them, but I want to learn double points, so I'll probably put those in here with the 2.5. So that's that half, and they're just all fixed, laid up in here. Not organized by length. I just yank them all out, figure out what I need, and then put it all back. And then this is all the larger needles. So I have 8, 9, 10. I have a set of 10.5, so I'll have to see where those will go. They'll probably go over here or something. And then I have 11, 13, and 15. I don't think I have any 15s, but I went ahead and marked it. So it's really, I just keep this in my knitting backpack.
I like that because it's, you know, if you only have just a few or you just keep a few for travel purposes, this is a great way to do it. Mine is a little too cumbersome, but I do have little containers for my traveling.
Yeah, and I find that as I've been really diligent about keeping things, I'm a little disorganized right now, but when I first got this, I was really diligent about putting back in there as soon as I was done. And so when I wanted to start a project, I would be like, oh, I have it. Good. Or I'd be like, oh, I don't. Like I find US 4s whenever I finish my Stephen West shawl. There will be so many US 4s in this bag. It's not even funny. Because they're all in that project.
I found that out with my 6s.
Yeah.
I have more 6s than the law.
And that's why if those are US 4s over there, they are those Chagu Fortes.
No, they're 6s, I think.
Okay. So if they're 4s, they're probably coming home with me. But we'll see. So that's
soon.
this.
Who knows?
And then so this was just on Amazon. This was on Etsy, and that's why I kind of want to mention it, because this is somebody, it was a lady out of Korea, I think South Korea, and she makes these needle organizers, and you can custom stamp the inside for what size. So I have 000 in the front, and then it has 00. I don't know if you can tell.
I would get one of those because I'm a container hoarder.
Yeah, and it just
That's
opens
so
up.
cute.
And then I got these little, they're reusable zip ties. They're plastic.
That's cute.
So they hold them in here in place. And it has all of my knitting, and it actually goes from, when I first organized this, it's not as organized now, but it would go from like 24 to 32, and then I have zeros, 24, then 32 inch cables, and then I have some US ones, so I have a slot or two back here with some US ones.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and she does custom stamping, whatever number size you want in there, and you tell her what you want all the flaps to say, and then it has a little zipper pouch. I never use it, but
I have little baby snippets that would go in there. Stitch markers possibly, that, or a measuring tape. So yeah,
but this
I'll have
made
to figure out how to make one.
Yeah, it was really a good purchase, and I had really good customer service from her.
That's always good to have.
Yeah, she was really helpful. So it's a really good option, and it's supporting somebody that this is their business
Yes.
to do, and it made my sock needle stash extremely organized within an afternoon. And then this just fits in my bag. Whenever I want to start a pair of socks, just pull it out of my bag, and I'm good to go.
But I have too many. She'd have to make me quite a few of them.
Well, and that could be too of like, it depends. Like
if you're brand new, that would be the way
Right,
to go.
and
if you didn't have a whole ton.
And I haven't bought sock needles in a long time because this has been organized.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm probably getting to the point where I'm about to have to start buying some more because I've bent a tip or two lately. But that's because of how much I'm using them, and they're so tiny. Like, they're US zeros and double zeros.
Oh yeah.
My double zeros are the ones that are starting to bend because they're
bowing
tiny.
or actually bending.
Bowing.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like when you're trying to cast on and like they're here and one of them goes, choo, you're like, yeah, I can't cast on with that.
I have 52 full sets of double pointed needles in size 1s for socks, because when I first learned to knit socks, I learned on double pointed needles. So I have a tin container, like a pencil box, that's full of those, and you can see some of mine are slightly bowed.
Yeah.
Because I do knit tight, because I like my socks to have a good tight fabric.
Yes.
So I've got a ton of those.
So, with that about socks,
Yes.
I know we announced about the sock stuff last time. It's still, I'll show you after the podcast what I have worked on. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you.
No, you're fine. I don't mind.
But it is going on behind the scenes. If you saw, I posted about us live streaming Stardew Valley last weekend. We will be live streaming Stardew Valley on a different channel. If you care to watch, it is video gameplay, but it will tie into the knitting content at some point. So the edited version of that will come to the channel. I explained a little more in that first episode that we live streamed, but just know there's different kind of content coming on behind the scenes. And now that we've got through my big work event, we're kind of hitting that point of the year where it's the end of the year, wrapping everything up. So I'll have a little more time, we think. They just told us that they're repainting our whole school this summer, so we have to move everything out of the school.
Oh dear.
So T-minus 2 months to get everything, and they're literally like, hey, they're rolling up to the doors the day after the kids leave.
Oh,
so we have a work day the next day, and they're like, yeah, your classroom has to be clear by then. We're
Oh
like,
my gosh. Oh wow.
and I have like,
you gotta let the kids out early then. Super
Well, they'll
early.
they'll get out at noon.
2 days before. No, let 9 o'clock come
They
in.
get out at noon on a Thursday. Friday morning they're rolling up to paint.
Oh my.
So and normally I have everything packed up by then, but like anything that we've personally bought has to get out of the building, which is fine. But I'm like, y'all, I have a piano. Where is that gonna go?
Oh no.
Now the piano is not personally mine, but
I know, but
it's an
still
upright piano, and I'm like,
huge.
can we not get this near the paint? Can we not turn off the AC on this? Like,
Can you cover it in plastic?
well,
It's gonna have to be covered. You can't just run that thing through the door, can you? Will it go through the door?
it's an upright. It's
Well,
not bad. But
Somebody's gonna
just the more you move it, because it is such a heavy piece of equipment, the more likely you are to have a break somewhere. It's meant to be movable, but not
all the
portable.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Or
kind of
run
coordinating
one
with
room to
my
another. Oh dear.
coordinating with my principal. I have some ideas in my head, so we just got to sit down and kind of figure out, okay, what's going to work. But yeah, so all the books and stuff that I've personally bought, my refrigerator, my carts, all of that has to get moved out, which is okay. It's just,
You have less than 24 hours.
well, we can start now.
Oh, okay.
Like, if I don't need it for the rest of the school year, it's getting out of Dodge.
Yeah.
It's going.
I would be overly prepared and get as much out as you can before.
But there's going to be,
otherwise you're going to be there till midnight.
I'll be there till 8 a.m. next morning. No, it'll be okay. So I think everybody, like me and the library, have the most equipment in the school. Like the PE coach has a good bit, and then I have a good bit, especially when you consider like the stage and sound equipment and things like that. That kind of falls under my moniker. And the librarian has obviously thousands of books.
Those have to go too? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So they're not, to my knowledge, they're not redoing all the floors, which means like that they can put stuff in the center of the room, because they were thinking we'd have to clear the entire building out.
Oh,
so they could redo the floors and everything and the walls. So we'll see. My school is older. My room has been redone more recently than a lot of other people's, because they outfitted it for the music room. Like soundproofing, things like that. So they kind of redid it more recently. But yeah.
I'm sure that they're going to, for things that, like bookcases and especially the library, it would be more efficient if they would just cover the bookshelves.
Well,
and then go around the walls.
I think they might be doing some kind of structural work too at the school over the summer, which is why I'm like, so, and a lot of it, I mean, it's just not information we're privy to unless it like specifically pertains to us. So just gonna sit down and hash out those plans, but we're kind of hitting the state testing time period, and so all these things are kind of all rolling, and so we just kind of catch each other when we can to talk about it and figure it out, and then execute whatever plan it is we got to do. So the sock stuff is coming. There's stuff coming with Stardew Valley, the video game we're playing. I'm really excited. That should be, I don't know when that's going to hit the channel. It's just going to happen when it happens, because it's going to be a full edited series, and I'm really excited. It's something different that I haven't seen on YouTube before. So thank you for your patience on, I know, like I've said, like, hey, all this stuff is constantly coming. Like I'm telling you it's coming, and then it's just not there yet. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming out every week. I was looking at our statistics, and actually we have, every time we put up an episode, the number of people who returns is growing really well, and there's actually a huge portion of y'all who are subscribed who return for every video.
Oh, wonderful.
So
good.
I'm really like, thanks y'all. That means a lot.
Yes.
So really appreciate that you're watching and hanging out with us.
Maybe we'll have some good news for the store on the next rollout of the next podcast.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to have to ask some questions as soon as we're all fair here. But
I don't want to jinx it, so I can't really
fair.
say much.
Anyway.
You'll just have to wait.
Yeah. So, yeah. We'll be around in a couple weeks. I won't be.
If she's not going to
I'm gonna be well.
Again.
I'm gonna be well. I'm gonna be well. I'm taking all my vitamins, doing all my things, like getting enough sleep every night. Like we're okay. So we'll see you in a couple weeks. Please comment down below. Like we saw some people. Somebody came from Ireland, Northern Ireland. Like that's so cool. Like, do you know about Irish knitting? Please, please tell us.
Welcome everyone. Yes,
congratulations.
Let us know what's going on.
Congratulations to our giveaway winner too.
Yes.
We'll have inserted that footage. And we will see you in the next podcast.
All right. Perfect.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Happy Saturday.